So today, I want to have a conversation with you guys in regards to attendance. Yes, attendance. Now, I'm not here to bash anybody if you call out a lot of times or you don't come to work. This is not what it's about. It's not about us being shorthanded because people just don't like coming to work. This is not what this conversation is about, baby. This conversation is going to be about how you get evaluated, or even if you get eyes for attendance, how they come up with that information in regards to your attendance. A little bit of tips, a little bit of tricks to help y'all get it. Shh, don't tell nobody, don't tell that shit, okay? All right, so listen. So when you decide to call out, you say, hey, I don't feel good today, whatever, I'm going to go. I'm either going to call the automated service or I'm going to use the ELRA, which is the best in the world. But some of you guys who don't know what the ELRA is how you can go online through Light Blue and go ahead and take your time out without going through the automated system to do it. It's very quick. You can do it in less than 5 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. I suggest that when you do it through ELRA, that you screenshot that and keep that as documentation, because sometimes the system may or may not work. So you have it just in case they say, oh, you just AWOL, you didn't show up. No, I did not AWOL, which means I decided not to come to work at all, and I decided not to let anyone know I was coming to work, and I decided not to call out. I didn't AWOL. That's why you keep a screenshot of it. But what we're going to discuss is how they calculate within a quarter your attendance and how they go ahead and do your review for attendance and how they decide to give you an II for attendance. So let me break it down to you like this. You have a whole year, right? 12 months in a year. But those of you who know or don't know, it's broken down into quarters. So a quarter is 3 months, January, February, March, right? April, May, June, July, August. You get it, right? Good. Okay. So within that quarter, within a 3-month quarter, right, you are allowed 3 points. 3. These points you get when you call out, right? So let's say you called out in the month of June for 1 day. You had car trouble, whatever, you weren't feeling good, boop, you hit the button. That's 1 point. So then July came and you just, whatever happened, you just wasn't in the mood. You called out for 2 days. That's another point. Boop. Then you got August. You didn't call out at all. So within that quarter of June, July, August, right, you only called out 3 times, 2 times, and got 2 points. So within a quarter, you are allowed 3. You cannot go over 3. You can, but they prefer you not to go over 3. When you go over 3 points in a quarter, that's when they will come to you and go, hey, you have excessive call outs and we need you to stop doing it. Or they may pull you into the office to do an II, which you guys know is an investigative what? Interview. Good. I'm glad you guys are listening. On your attendance. Now, I'm going to give you a trick in regards to this. Told y'all this shit. All right. So let's say within a quarter of January, February, and March, right? The beginning of the new year, beginning of a new quarter, something happens. Maybe you caught the flu or whatever, and you just was like, fuck this shit, I'm not in the mood to go to work. So you want to call out. But you're not sure if you want a day, you want 2 days. Now remember, every call out is 1 point. So this is what I'm advising y'all to do. When you decide to call out, make that shit count. Meaning, if you're going to hit the button for 2 or 3 days. Okay? Even if you don't need it, because once you go back to work, once you swipe in, anything that you requested will get booted back out the system. Right? Okay. So let's say in January 6th, I don't know, I'm making up a date. You did not feel good at all. You was like, I can't do this shit. I can't go to work today. I mentally cannot function. So when you go ahead and bang out for 2 or 3 days, even if you don't need it, because remember, that's 1 point. Now, if you say, I'm only going to take that 1 day, that's fine. When you go to work the next day and you swipe in, it kicks out the other 2 days. So you only have 1 day on record and 1 point, right? Okay. So let's say February comes and you didn't call out at all because you was being good. Then March comes. And then March comes and you just like, ugh, I just got too much shit going on. My mind ain't right, whatever. Grandma's sick, whatever. So you decide you want to bang out again. So you say, you know what? I think I need 5 days. Fuck this shit. Make it count. hit that button, and that'll be 2 points. Now remember, anything past 3 days, management has the right to ask you for documentation. Okay? I'm letting y'all guys know that now. I'm not telling you exact documentation you need to provide, but you understand, right? Okay, as long as you get it. Now, so every quarter, you are allowed 3 points. So you got January, February, March, like I told you, April, May, June, July, August, like that. So now we're in the last quarter of the year. October, November, December, right guys? Okay, October's already started. We're technically in mid-October. So if you've already called out twice, baby, you got 2 points. You better not call out again because you know once season starts, you deemed desirable. And for those of you who do not know what deemed desirable is, that means that your location, plant, station, whatever, is deeming that you can come to work because ain't nothing fucking wrong with your ass. Get it? Okay. So when you are going to work, think about your attendance and think about the point system. This is something that they will not just readily give to you in regards to your attendance. They don't tell you it's broken down by quarters. Now, what they should be doing, and I don't know if everyone's doing this, I know at my location, they've been stopped doing this shit. They're supposed to come to you, your supervisor, sometimes your MDO, will come to you with a sheet that has months on it. And it'll be like June, July, August. And they'll have the days that you called out. And you'll be halfway through the quarter. And they'll say, well, you know what, Becky, you called out twice already. 2 times. It's 2 points, Becky. Can't do it again. And they'll come to you because you're reaching your 3rd point. Now, this also goes to when it's time for discipline. If you get an II for attendance, and I'm going to give you another trick, and they say, oh, you've been calling out and during the quarter, and why are you calling out, blah, blah, blah. At this point, you or your savvy shop steward should at that point try to figure out how many points you have for that quarter. Or if they try to give you a 7-day suspension for attendance, 14-day suspension, they're trying to give you a letter of warning. That's when your shop steward and you should know as well how many points you have for that quarter. So if you say, well, what the hell? I only got 1 point. I may have banged out for 4 days, but I have 1 point for this quarter already. At that point, all conversation ceases. Me as a shop steward, I'm not having a conversation with management anymore. I'm like, yeah, she banged out for 4 days, 1 time in the quarter. This quarter's about to end. We have not reached the 3-point max. That's when you shut their ass up. And they go, well, nothing. We're not having this conversation. There is no letter of warning. There's no 14-day suspension. There's no 7-day suspension. We're going to have an oral discussion and we're going to keep it moving, okay? Good, bye. All right. So that's what you need to know about your attendance. Come into work every day, whatever, on time, you do that. But when you decide to bang out, please understand when you do bang out, every time you bang, that is 1 point. You get it? You bang? Okay, good. You get 1 point. Try to keep your absences to a minimum for that quarter if you can. If you need to bang out, listen to me good. Make that shit count. Okay? If you need to bang out, but you're not sure how many days you need, I suggest you hit the button for 3 days. Okay? That's 3 days, which is under the amount that they need documentation for. And if you don't need those 3 days, like I told you guys, you can always come back to work on the 2nd day, swipe in, and those other 2 days are put back into the system, into your bank, whatever you use, if that was sick leave or annual, and you only get 1 point for 1 day. Now, if you really do need this time because you're genuinely sick or someone in your family is sick, you do what you have to do, okay? It doesn't matter about the point system at that time. I am a firm believer of your family fucking first. So whatever goes down in your household and someone is super sick or you need to take care of them, do what the fuck you need to do, because management is always going to do what the fuck they want to do and they don't get reprimanded for it. So do what you need to do, okay? All right. So also too, I need y'all to also remember this policy goes towards attendance when you clock in. Now, some of y'all may or may not know, when you come in late, you are allowed up to, I think, 3 to 5 clicks. I try to keep mine 3 clicks if I'm late at best. Now, if you go over that certain amount, some places are giving you 39.71s because you're late. you're late 10 minutes, you're late 15 minutes. And you can get points for that because you were late for coming into work. So you still get a point if they give you a 39.71 because you're 20 minutes late. Now, if they want to be a dick, management's being a dick, and they give you one, then nothing you can do. But if you say, hey, I had car trouble, hey, the weather was bad, hey, sometimes they just go ahead and they just don't even pay no attention. Sometimes they'll ask you if you are a regular employee, do you want to take the time out of your sick leave? Do you want to take the time out of your annual leave? Or if you're doing overtime anyway, it really won't matter. But also remember that if you're coming to work late, and it happens to be something that you're doing quite often, always coming to work late, and they decide they want to start giving 39.71s because you're abusively late, that's a point, honey. And then sooner or later, you're going to end up going into the office and you're going to have an eye with your shop steward and a supervisor because you are habitually coming in late. And at that point, they can go ahead and apply that point system to the fact they gave you 39.71s for coming in late. Okay? So keep that in the back of your mind. Nobody really comes to work late because they really want to. Things happen. Accidents, traffic, weather, children, whatever. Shit happens. And we all understand that. If you come to work, explain why you were late. But if you got a dick for a supervisor or management is a dick, especially where I am, you might get a 39.71 for that and you're probably going to get a point for that. Okay? The point system is very important because that's how they determine how to give you discipline. So you want to keep anything that you do for a quarter. And a quarter is what, y'all? 3 months. Keep everything under 3 points for that quarter when you bang out, even if you come in late. And remember what I told you guys, what I told you, let me hear it again. What? If you bang out, make that shit count. Okay, so let's recap. The fiscal year for the post office is broken down into what? 3 quarters. So that's 3 months. You are allowed 3 points to be absent from work during one particular quarter. If you bang out, that's 1 point. Doesn't matter how many days it is, that is still 1 point. Try to keep it under 3 days. Anything over, they can ask for documentation, right? Okay. If you decide you want to take more than 3 days or you're taking 3 days because you're not sure what you need, but you're going to be done, let's say you took a day, maybe 2, you don't need the rest. Remember, you can always go back to work, always swipe in. The other days are released. And then you only get that 1 point for whatever days that you use. Okay? Remember, they can still use this against you if they want to do discipline. But like I told you guys, if you're under 3 points and you know it and your shop steward knows it, that is an argument against whatever discipline they're trying to give you. Letter of warning, 7-day suspension, 14-day suspension. Okay? Also, too, remember, we are in the end of the year. This is the last quarter of the year. The last. So if you decide to bang out, what I told y'all, make that shit count, right? All right then. So always remember, my postal freaks, love and light. Peace.